And welcome, buddy, to another episode of Legion Live, where we are 60 seconds late. And Melissa, why are we 60 seconds late?
It's all me.
Make it a good story.
I thought we had another hour, actually.
So that leads me to the two important questions to start this off, Melissa. One is, did you actually shower, or did you just get out of bed, throw up, roast through your hair, or do you really feel like you're prepared, physically here?
You think this face just happens out of bed?
Okay. And then the most important question is, are you wearing pajama pants right now?
I don't think we need to comment as long as this is all covered.
That's it. I'm not wearing any pants right now either. Everybody in the office is watching this what did you just say?
I don't think, if you work from home, I'm not sure pants are required. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. Fortunately, I don't work from home, but I think that work is home. Does that count?
I think we've weirded some people out right now.
That's all right. It's live, right? I mean, now you guys know this really is live because we're completely out of our minds. Melissa's wearing pajama pants. It's questionable if I'm wearing pants at all. And now we're going to talk about e-commerce, right?
Yes. It's the best thing ever.
All right. So, Melissa, so I was going to talk about how we hooked up, but I actually want to know the story about how you found us.
Oh, that was interesting, actually. I was just doing social media, and I was like, how can I better get the word out about Empowery? You know, we're sort of in startup mode, and we really want to let people know what we're about. And so I was like, how can we do this? And so I was looking on social media about people who are kind of like-minded, and I came across Private Label Legion, and I thought, this is exactly it, a legion of entrepreneurs who want to go kick ass. That's what we're about. So I was really excited to connect with you. And so I sent you a message, I think, and I was like, hey, I'd love to connect and see what we could do together.
And here we are. So, Melissa, the first time we talked, you told me about this crazy thing called Empowery. And the word you used was a co-op.
Yes.
And I was extremely interested because nobody in the e-commerce industry has no, let me take that back. Nobody in the e-commerce service industry has discussed a co-ops. There have been some product co-ops and some investor co-ops and things like that. So those of you that are listening, please pay attention because this is going to be probably something new to you that you've never heard. I want Melissa to explain the history and the concept of what Empowery is, and then we'll go from there. So why don't you give us the concept first of what the Empowery Co-op is, and then talk a little bit about how it got started.
Absolutely. I love talking about Empowery because I feel very fortunate to be able to be part of it. And it's because this is a different way of doing things. This is a way to take, small solopreneurs or e-commerce sellers and give them a louder voice. So when Amazon is shutting you down arbitrarily, or if the state of California or the state of Washington is, sending you threatening letters and you're like, what do I do? Empowery is about empowering the single entrepreneur with a community full of people who are like-minded and giving you a louder voice so that when you see something that's not right, then you have a whole group of people who's got your back. And it's also about using that combined buying power to leverage better prices from service providers, and to sort of guarantee to the service providers as well that there's some transactions that are going to take place and that there's a long-term viable relationship that's being formed there. So it's kind of a win-win on both sides.
Gotcha. So how did Empowery get started? And I'm sure there's people still wondering what on earth. I still don't know what Empowery is. We know the idea, but talk about how it got started, and then we'll talk a little bit about the structure of it, because I think that it is a very interesting concept, very interesting idea, one that we at Hickory Flats are getting involved with, and want to kind of share the good news about what this is, because I think there's a lot of listeners, a lot of folks in the Legion that would probably be interested in taking advantage of this once they hear more about it. So talk about kind of the history. I know you're going to talk about Steve and all that good stuff. So go ahead.
Well, it started because, so Steve Simonson is one of the co-founders, and he also has a mastermind. And, they started to think, a mastermind is a fairly small group of people where you come together and you can learn from each other. And instead of having this scarcity mindset where you're thinking like if one person has a piece of the pie, that's a piece I can't have. They're thinking like we can learn from each other, we can benefit from each other's past experience and grow and scale our businesses because of these powerful connections. And they started to think like, how can we take this mastermind and put it on a much grander scale? Instead of having a single person who is, calling up Steve and saying, hey, I need to borrow your expertise. What should I do to solve this problem? And having Steve say, well, I think you should use this type of service, and I can, give this guy a call. He might put in, I'll put in a good word for you. Essentially, that's what Empowery does. It's taking that idea of a single phone call for one entrepreneur and just taking it and putting it on a scale for thousands.
Gotcha. So, wow, I feel like I'm trying to digest a whole lot that you just dropped. So let me see if I can also explain it too from the layman's point of view. All right.
Got it.
So as an e-commerce seller, we are oftentimes alone. A lot of times, whether we are introverts or not, we look like introverts because we're sitting around in our home office in our pajama pants, hadn't brushed our hair, and it's kind of lonely. And I see people like in the Facebook groups all the time. They're like, wow, I need to get out and network because this is kind of a lonely business. Mm-hmm. But not just like the social side. We can also be lonely because we do have a small voice, and we might have a small circle. So we might be lonely in information, right? In content and learning new things. It is Tuesday, the 19th right now. And as soon as we hang up from this, I'm driving to Nashville to Funnel Hackers, right? The Funnel Hackers live event. There's going to be like, 2,500 digital marketers there. Now, I get the luxury of going to conferences like that, but most people don't. Right. So I think that, the e-com entrepreneurs, the Amazon hustlers that don't get to access that are missing a tremendous amount of information, a tremendous amount of knowledge, a tremendous amount of wisdom and experience. And by taking a little bit of the information that I gain at Funnel Hackers and a little bit that you gain at Traffic and Conversions and a little someone else gains at, SellerCon, whatever it is, and we kind of pump all this information together, it helps us because I see people that have been running an Amazon business or an e-commerce business, or let's say business in general, for years, and like they don't know something that came out 2 years ago just because they didn't get exposed to it. So that's the kind of the information and content side. The other thing is networking and mentorship, right? I know it's easy to get out and join a Facebook group of 50,000 people, but how do you know if someone's completely full of crap? How do you know if they actually sell online, if they're not just going to criticize you, steal your ideas, whatever? So by having an organized community like the Legion, but also like Empowery, where you can get to know personally and from a business, relationship side, fellow entrepreneurs, that gives you the ability to collaborate and network, and it gives you the ability to find mentors or become mentors. I do a lot of private label coaching, and to be honest, I get as much out of coaching as my students do because I'm learning from them. The third thing that a really well organized network allows you to do is have a voice, like what you said, if you might get steamrolled. Okay. Now Amazon's a beast, right? Yeah. What did they profited $11 billion last year? Is that what I just saw in the news? Yeah. So I don't know how much they sold. And maybe we can't tackle Amazon right now. Maybe that's a lofty goal. But there's always like 2 or 3 degrees of separation. I know an attorney, CJ Rosenbaum, if you're listening, shout out, pound. There you go, CJ. So like CJ has really good buddies from law school that literally are attorneys on retainer for Amazon. So if CJ hears that a community like the Empowered community is consistently having a common problem like arbitrary suspensions, maybe all it takes is for CJ to hear it from 6 voices. He passes it through, and then 3 degrees of separation. We're in corporate Amazon, right? Right. But the truth is, even a guy like CJ isn't going to listen if I have something to complain about, because if I have something to complain about, I probably screwed up. I probably wrote terms of service. I probably did something stupid. But if he hears the same thing from several people, then it becomes different. And to consolidate those worries, those concerns, legitimate or imagined, it makes it a whole lot easier for the people that can affect change to make change. Yeah. And the other thing it does is we all use a lot of the similar service providers, right? Everybody typically is familiar with and or uses the same software. People use prep centers, people use importers, they use sourcing agents, they do all sorts of things, right? And the truth is, if there is a service provider out there let's say a big software company, right? Let's say Helium 10. I'm buddies with Manny. So let's say Helium 10 has a significant problem or needs a significant improvement. It is less likely I am less likely to, well, I don't really count because I know him, but let's say most people are less likely to reach out with one complaint because they might think, well, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe they're not going to even read my email. What's the point? But if you have a community that's all speaking the same language, the same problems, the same issues, the same suggestions, same criticisms, same compliments, it's easier to consolidate that. And now you've got a bigger voice. So, not a union, but it's kind of like we're unionizing a little bit, right? We're getting a louder voice. So I think that those three things are super, super beneficial to anybody in the e-commerce space. Those three abilities to kind of consolidate a little bit. And I think that Empowery, if I understand this right, Melissa, the mission of Empowery is to do exactly that, right? It's to consolidate for those. Those are three of the primary reasons for consolidation, right?
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
Did I say it? Did I say it better than you?
You did. I'm a little mad. You're gonna have to do a marketing video for me because I'm I quit.
It's all good. All right. So
everything that you said is totally on point for what Empowery is about. And it really all comes down to empowering the individual seller. But
it's almost like that's where you got the name from, right?
Hey, look at that.
Empowering Empowery. All right. So a co-op, let's not even just speak specifically to Empowery, but let's just say a co-op of e-commerce sellers is an interesting idea because it consolidates us in those ways. Yes. So speaking now specifically to the Empowery co-op.
Yes.
You mentioned this before, but I want to get into this further because I think this is really interesting. A lot of us are using the same software tools, right? Mm-hmm. The same services. And a lot of those are marketed by affiliates, correct?
Right.
Right. So if I'm using Seller Lab Scope and you want to use Seller Lab Scope, then if I am an affiliate, right, which I'm probably not going to get signed up if I'm just a user just to give it to one person, right. Then I could get an affiliate commission on that monthly subscription, correct?
That's true.
But nobody does that. Nobody's going to sign up as an affiliate to tell their buddy about this. They're just going to tell their buddy about it.
Right.
But affiliates typically get pretty large discounts too.
Yes.
Okay. So I feel like we're missing the boat on that as, users and consumers of software products and prep services and, legal services and optimizations, all these things, right?
Yeah.
So I think that one brilliance that Empowery, one piece of spark of brilliance, we'll say, that Empowery came up with was setting up a program to consolidate these services and affiliates and actually become a source of, I wouldn't even say revenue, what would you say, but like reimbursement almost of those affiliates back to the community.
Yes.
So explain how the Empowery ownership works and how that is translated into actually working with like affiliate commissions and service providers.
Okay. So we have several different membership levels. The bronze level is sort of where you're maybe not quite to the $1 million mark in revenue per year. You're kind of working towards that. And it's right now we have it's a $500 membership, but you're not a member owner. And so you don't receive cash back. You get some discounts and you get some perks. Right now we have 100 coupon codes to take $499 off. So it's a $1 membership for the first 100 people. I think we still have a few of those. I'm not sure how many. But the bronze level is sort of to get your feet wet, see what Empowery is about, how you can benefit from it, if it's worth it to you, if there's enough education and training being provided that it's beneficial for your business. And then we have the silver membership level. And silver members, this is the member owner level. So it means that you're a shareholding member. And so when you join, you are paying for a share, which if you ever choose to leave the co-op, you get that money back because you're returning the share and you are no longer an owner. Because you're an owner, it allows us as a co-op formation to reimburse money back to you. So depending on what you're spending with our preferred suppliers, 51% or more of that goes back to the members. So let me see if I can break that down for you a little bit. Because we're a nonprofit, we have to reimburse 51% or more. Everything that comes into the co-op 51% or more has to go back to our members. And so the way that we do that is, like you were saying, the affiliate relationships, we have affiliations. And so because you're going through the co-op and we've signed up for all of these many different kinds of services, and we've, connected and networked to create these partnerships, your own account is what you're being reimbursed for. Instead of only when you refer to a buddy, you're also getting money back when you are the one who is spending the money, which is kind of nice, because that in typical affiliate relationships, you don't get money back from the money that you're spending. It's only if you make a referral. So in this way, you don't have to worry about signing up for all the different affiliate stuff. We've already done it on your behalf. And then at least 51% or more of what comes back into the co-op goes back to you guys. And so money that you're already spending, you're getting a better discount, and money that you're putting out there is going to be coming back to you. So I hope that explains it.
All right. So let me re-explain this. By becoming a member of Empowery, not only do you have access to dozens of services at the term you use is beat the street deal, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you have already pre-negotiated better discounts, better coupon codes, better promo codes for all of these different service providers that are also teamed up with Empowery. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially speaking, by becoming a member of Empowery, you can access this cheaper than they could without.
Exactly.
And when they sign up for these services with your promo code or affiliate link, then Empowery gets paid that affiliate commission, right?
Right.
And then because Empowery is a nonprofit organization, a large percent, pretty much everything but operating expenses of Empowery is returned back to the shareholders.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
So let me say that again. I join Empowery. I get bigger discounts on a mountain of services than anybody else gets. And when I sign up for those services that I'd be signing up for anyways,
mm-hmm.
then I get money back on that because you guys are a nonprofit organization that pays back those affiliates.
Right. Now, let me make sure that I'm not mistaking anybody here. I don't want them to think that 51% or more of everything they spend comes back to them. Of everything that comes into the co-op. So let's say a certain company gives 20% back as an affiliate commission. 51% or more of that goes back to each of the members. So again, operating expenses to manage all of these affiliate partnerships and stuff. And then that would leave 10 or a little bit more percentage that goes back to you for spending that money.
Yes. Awesome. So right now you're literally cutting checks to members, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're very excited because we're coming up on our event in May, and we're going to have large checks to be cut to people. We're excited about.
Right. So you're literally cutting checks to people for using services that they'd already be using, and they get the combined asset, the combined strength of the community, and you guys put out content and all sorts of crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty awesome. So I know that you have different levels of membership and you can get involved slow. To actually get a piece of that affiliate chunk, you have to actually buy a share in the co-op, right? And that's $1,000.
Right. So the difference there between the bronze membership and the silver membership, bronze does not get the cash back. You'll be eligible for the Beat the Street discounts, some amazing perks, and some free educational content, but not most of the content. The silver membership is where you are a shareholding member, and that's when you are eligible to receive the cash back.
That is really, really cool. And Hickory Flats actually just got involved as one of the vendors, right? One of these vendors. So essentially, we gave a better discount to Empowery members on services than anybody else gets.
Yes.
When an Empowery member pays for those services through that affiliate link or promo code, we pay Empowery, and then Empowery takes percentage of that dividends and actually gives it back to its members.
Yes. Yep. And
that's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. And what I love about this, and you alluded to this earlier, we are, as far as I know, the only e-commerce cooperative. And what's really exciting about these partnerships is that there is a lot of partnerships. There's a lot of services for e-commerce sellers, and it is very difficult for people to cut through all the noise and say, what services should I even be using? I don't even know if this is necessary for my business. And then to have a trusted voice saying you should use something for this. This is a service that you should probably be using. It can really benefit you. And then having a stamp of approval for a couple different vendors within that category of service to say, we know these guys are going to treat you well. And if they don't, we know that we can do something.
You've got some muscle.
Yeah, we actually we had one situation a while ago where I like that where the vendor in the situation was reaching out to us and saying, hey, I've got a situation with one of your members. I just want you to know that I'm doing everything that I can to resolve it. He was being very on top of it. And it turned out it was actually the member that was at fault in that situation. But it was because it was part of the co-op and he knew that it would affect other members if that one relationship went sour, that he was really trying to make sure that we knew, he's on top of it. He's going to take care of him. He's going to do everything. And to be honest, he probably would have just dropped that customer, just flat out dropped the customer for the way that things were going at the time. But because he was part of the co-op, he said, we're going to treat this relationship as if it is the relationship with the entire co-op, because it is.
Okay. So that's pretty cool stuff. Really cool stuff. So I will say this. Nobody can be perfect about vetting vendors. There's great vendors that turn crappy. There's great service providers and software that, turn crappy. But just so all of you understand, full transparency here, we actually had Hickory Flats had to pay in to become a member of, basically a vetted member of Empowery, right? And that's for several reasons. But even after we wrote them a check, they still had to take it before the board of directors of this nonprofit organization before we even got approval, right? Mm-hmm. So folks, just because like a service provider throws money at them, it doesn't mean anything. Right. Empowery is pretty, critical or pretty critical of who they are suggesting and who they're promoting. It's not just about money. It's about being vetted. Obviously the vetting program is, she dipped out. Oh, I'll keep talking. Obviously, I was going to say, obviously the vetting program isn't very good because they let Hickory Flats in, but that would have been a better joke if Melissa hadn't just disappeared.
Am I not?
So Melissa's gone. I don't understand where she went, but that's okay. Maybe she'll pop back in. But folks, this is one of those Legion lives where, we really want to share good information. And we don't normally bring on a service provider and just talk about their service, right? Normally we'll bring on someone that's an expert or a good service provider and talk about, some knowledge or some content they have. And I'll be 100% honest, because now Melissa's not here. I can say whatever I want to. When they first contacted me, I thought it was kind of hokey. I was thinking to myself, this is like maybe too good to be true is not the word, but kind of spammy MLM-ish, right? And I didn't give much thought to it. I didn't give a whole lot of, a lot of weight to what they were saying. But over time, I started talking to other people that were involved. I started hearing from other people that were involved as members and as vendors. I started kind of thinking deeper about what they're trying to accomplish. I started vetting them. Oh, she's back. I've been saying nothing but good things about you.
I don't believe you for a second.
You went to put your pants on, didn't you?
You know me.
So what I was just telling them, Melissa, is that it took us a while to get involved because I wanted to really contemplate the whole process and strategy here. Because, people call me every week. They want to get involved in stuff. Yeah. And we're pretty particular also about who we get involved with on a business level or a content level or anything like that. So, I'm just saying I put my stamp of approval on this whole concept because I think it's legit. And I know pretty much all of the service providers, to some extent or another, that are members of the Empowery service providers list. And I don't really see a whole bunch of crap on there. I see a lot of good stuff. So
and that's actually a really good point. We had one service provider that, we had a couple bad reviews. We talked to them about it. And we decided, it's not a relationship that we can move forward with. And so we took them out. If it's not working for the members, we definitely don't want to proceed with it. And another thing that you said that I think was really on point is I think you are somebody who takes their time. You're particular about putting yourself. We both took our time with this partnership. And I think it was for the benefit of both sides. And Steve Simonson is the same way. The way that we approach this as Empowery is the same way that Steve Simonson approaches things on a personal level. He's very serious about saying, I have no affiliations. I'm telling you this because I think it will benefit you, not because I'm making a buck off of it. And that's why we set Empowery up as a nonprofit. And we made it member-owned cooperative, because we want people to know the benefit that we're looking for out of this is yours. It's not ours. The point of this is that we believe the world needs more entrepreneurs. And if we can help people take something from an idea into actual live mode, right? If we can help them with education and training to get that off the ground, if we can help them with the tools and resources that they need, that's winning. That's winning for us.
And I'm going to toot my own horn here for a second, or the Hickory Flats horn, and say we are one of the few people that actually sells products, right? And we sell a lot of different private label products. I was in Guatemala last week and met with some artisans and producers that are producing brand new products for us that we're going to be launching in the next month. Q4 of last year, we launched between 40 and 50 new products. I'm not talking about variations, new products. And I say all that to say, not only is our service good because we actually know what we're doing, boots on the ground, but I get to see things from both perspectives, right? I get to see things as a service provider that has this really in-tune feel into the industry. And I go to all the I speak at a lot of the conferences, all that good stuff. But also I'm a consumer. There are software and service providers that I use regularly and my team uses regularly. So I understand what's needed as a consumer. Right. Just last week, I went and had a live meeting with another FBA prep center. Right. It was interesting because we used to run a prep center. We used to have a big 3PL warehouse. We were bringing containers constantly. Right. So I know how it works, but I also know what I need as a consumer. Right. So one really cool thing about Empowery is the kind of the strengths that it brings to both, to both sides, the vendors and the actual users. I can see pretty clearly because I'm one of both of those. Right. And so far haven't seen any negative. So really cool stuff. So Melissa and Steve, if you watch this, I applaud you guys for putting this together. I'm really excited to see the growth in this. It's only about a year old, right?
Yes. We just hit the year mark this month. I'm really excited. Hit the year mark.
So, and I know as these things go, you guys probably went really slowly promoting this to make sure you had all the bugs worked out and to make sure that, it's a legit service. You probably made a lot of changes, but usually once you get to the year mark, you're ready to take off. You're ready to roll. So it's about that time. And that's why we're here talking about this, is because they've got it worked out and there are already people getting checks from using, the service providers on their list and becoming members. You've got a huge list of service providers now. Yeah. That's awesome stuff. So anything else anything else you want to share before we sign off?
I would definitely love to help get the word out about the event that's coming up in May. I believe it's, I should have been prepared. I believe that it is May 16th, 17th, and 18th. And you can quote me on that.
May 16th, 17th, and 18th. So Tell us about that event. What is it? Where's it going to be?
It is going to be in Seattle. And we have a page for it. I can share. I'll give you the link to the event so that you can take a look at that, and share that with your people. But I'm really excited about this. This is our first, our kickoff event. We're very excited about it. We're going to have some vendors there some are going to be speakers. Some are just going to be there for you guys for members to talk to. And we're going to have a lot of really awesome speakers. Kevin King is going to be there. He's going to be one of the speakers. And we're going to have a lot of awesome content. We're going to have it packed full of content, and it's going to be organized sort of as education and training, and then sort of networking and connecting. And so it's going to be 3 days. The final day is for members only. The first 2 days, people who are not yet members can come and take a look and see what it's all about. So I'll give you a link to share that around, and we're very excited about it.
Yeah, we'll put the link. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, the link is below. If you're watching on Facebook, then we will drop the link below also in the comments as soon as she sends it to me. So
awesome.
All right. Anything else?
I don't think so. I really appreciate you having me on today to talk about Empowery. I think I annoy all the people in my life by talking about it so much.
All right. So
have a new audience to talk to.
So let's do something interesting right here. Okay. Something kind of fun. And you don't know what this is going to be, but you're going to love it. All right. So we don't do a lot of giveaways, and I'm looking around my office to find something. I'll tell you what we'll do. we at Hickory Flats are launching a new coaching program, mastermind program, right? Nobody's done anything like it. It's a monthly subscription that gives you like 12 hours of coaching a month. Okay. And it's cheap. Like most private label coaches charge $500 an hour. We're absolutely crushing that. You're right. And we're launching that throughout this week and starting next week. I'm going to give a month free membership to anybody. All right. And that's like $297 is the retail price on that. To anybody that's watching this, even if it's a year from now, if nobody has answered this trivia question, okay, hit me up on YouTube, track me down, and I will give you a month free membership if you understand what is about to pop up on the screen. And it's so ambiguous, you probably can't Google it.
I love it. I totally
get the answer. Anybody that's watching this, if you can honestly tell me what that means right now, I'll give you a month free membership to the 1 Degree Mastermind from Hickory Flats. Melissa, I told you love that. How long do you think it's going to be before someone even knows what the heck that is? And no cheating. Don't call up your friend and be like, I know the answer. Tell them.
I think we're going to be surprised, actually.
Really? You think there's enough closet nerds out there watching this that might actually get it?
Closet nerd for sure.
All right. Got it. I'm taking it back down. But yeah, if the first person that Facebook messages me and knows what the heck that is, that's kind of an inside thing between me and Melissa and the underground world of nerdery that we associate ourselves with. 1 month free to the 1 Degree Mastermind. All right, it's gone.
You brought me out of the closet here. Like I was totally a closet nerd, and now like live, yes. I am out.
Yep. Oh man, I outed you in front of everybody.
You did.
All right, cool. Well, I guess I'm gonna head to Funnel Hackers. You're gonna probably go take a shower and put some pants on and all that good stuff.
The meanest person who's ever interviewed me, just saying.
All right, great. All right, well, hey, thank y'all for tuning into another Legion Live. Listen, hit us up on Facebook, look up the Private Label Legion group, follow the page. Hickory Flats has a page. You can find us on Instagram, Private Label Legion. You can find us on YouTube. Man, I can't even tell you how much stuff we're about to drop on YouTube that's great content. You can look up Private Label Legion. You can look up me, Tim Jordan. Anyway, it pops up. Smash that subscribe button, and you'll get notifications on new videos. We just dropped a new video that I filmed in Guatemala last week. We dropped it yesterday. And later today, we're dropping the first podcast episode of Legion Radio, which we've been building out for like 6 months, like literally recording podcasts for 6 months, and we're releasing it today. So Melissa, you're the first one to hear about that. It's going to be awesome.
I'm super excited. I'm going to totally subscribe as soon as we get off.
All right. Wait, you hadn't subscribed already?
What? I don't understand the question.
You haven't subscribed already?
To your podcast?
Oh, the podcast. I thought you were talking about YouTube. I was going to be really disappointed. I'm like, Melissa, we've known each other for like 17 years now, right? Or 12 weeks, whatever. Same difference, right?
A few weeks, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We're signing off. We'll catch you guys later.